Hi, my name's Claire, and this is Chris, my husband. We have two kids, Evie, who's 6, and Fraser's 4. We live in Wakeley in Brisbane, and we're from the Sunshine Coast. Fraser was born in 2014 when Evie was not quite 2, and we were really excited to find out we were having our little boy after having Evie. But Evie went to daycare 3 days a week and was often bringing home her own little viruses. So by the time Fraser was 5 weeks old, we noticed he'd probably picked up something that Evie had brought home. We thought it was just a normal virus, but it just kept getting worse. For just weeks, he just continued to just have this rattly cough and became unwell again. So we ended up one night calling an ambulance.
Calling an ambulance for the first time was a bit surreal. You're thinking, is this actually happening to us? This little guy, surely he's going to be okay. And after his first visit, it was quite frequent trips to the hospital.
Quite often was always like that. He would get a runny nose, and then within hours we had to call an ambulance because he would get so sick so quickly. He just didn't give us much warning. He spent 4 days on high flow until he was well enough to come off that and come back home with us again. Because he kept getting sick all the time, it wasn't just his lungs. They started wondering, why did he get sick all the time? Every month getting something new, a different virus, and why did it affect him so badly? So they're like, is there something wrong with his immune system? But yeah, there was many times that we had to call an ambulance in the middle of the night, and I'd be gone when Evie woke up in the morning, and yeah, she'd find that quite hard to understand. How do you explain to a 2-year-old that mummy's gone to the hospital again? It's very hard at first because he's very distressed, he feels very sick, he's working hard to breathe, and you're putting this machine or these prongs up his nose that you know are going to work well for him, but he doesn't like that. Trying to explain, comfort a tiny baby that, you know, we're here to help you, it's it's hard. He had scans, he had scopes, he had pretty invasive tests. He's sort of had the bronchiolitis that continued on and now looking like asthma as he's gotten older. So it was a big relief to know that it wasn't something more serious. So we got to know the Children's Hospital Foundation when we were first in Nambour, and some of the volunteers would come around and hand out toys to Evie and Fraser and make their time there just that little bit more special and enjoyable, and just directing us where to go. They were great support. Well, if it wasn't for the BOQ funding for things like the high flow, I'm scared to think where Fraser may have ended up. I think he probably would have needed to have a tube down his throat, which meant he would have had to have been sedated. With high flow, it meant he was awake, he could interact with us, have baths, and we could still get him out and have cuddles, because I think it was just so beautiful to be able to nurse your baby when he's sick and be able to hold him, because that's all you want to do as a parent, is hold your sick baby. As Fraser's grown bigger, he is much better. We're visiting the hospital less frequently. From his first 2 years of life, it was in and out every month, and for the last year it's only been twice in the year, so that's been a huge change for us in our family.
He's just a little daredevil go-getter now. He loves BMX, running, anything physical, or pushing his limits, and it is a relief to see and almost forget that he was ever this little kid. Yeah.
Just seeing Fraser healthy more than not healthy is just wonderful to see, and he just is thriving. He's such a happy little boy. Please get behind the BOQ It's Possible bike ride tour and support the Children's Hospital Foundation to help families like ours.